How long do you spend game planning with your staff on the weekends? 4 to 5 hours locked in a room on a Sunday? Coaches often think that spending more time in a room game planning means more productivity when actually it could mean the opposite. Game planning shouldn't take you more than 1 to 2 hours as staff on the weekends. In this video, we're going to show you exactly how to game plan on both sides of the football to save more time. To start, let's try to shorten how many hours you meet with your coaching staff. Most coaches will typically meet with their staffs on 4 to 5 hours on a Sunday, taking up most of the day. And this doesn't even take into account the 2 to 3 hours that you've already watched film on Saturday. So how do you cut down the time you spend on game planning? To start, and we're going to say this a ton throughout this video, you need to have processes in place that you and your coaches can all get involved with. If you have one coach doing all of the game planning and all the coaches just stand around supporting, it can add a lot of stress to the main coach that's doing all of the work. First thing you're going to want to do is create a game plan sheet for both offense and defense. And we'll cover what should be on this game plan sheet in a little bit. Next, you'll want to split your staff into offense and defensive game planning. If you have offensive and defensive coaches, this will obviously be easier for you. If you don't, just like our staff, you need to designate roles for each coach. So for example, I'm a defensive coordinator, but I'm also a wide receiver coach. But for game planning purposes, I'm obviously on the defensive side of the football. Our running back coach is also our linebacker coach. I've adopted him onto the defensive side of the football. So we took our staff and we just split them evenly. That way, when we do game planning, everyone has an assigned role. And if you're a head coach or a coordinator watching this, find the right mix of coaches who work well together. There's some guys on the staff that gel better than others. Put them on the same side of the football together. That way they can game plan together. Okay, now that you've split your staff into offense and defense, what's next? You're going to want to create a process for each of your coaches. This means clearly defining roles for everybody. Each coach is expected to complete a piece of the puzzle. Then on Sunday, we're going to put all the pieces together. This ensures that every coach has skin in the game. Now, what's the best way to do this? We'll start on the defensive side of the football, and bare minimum, your defensive coordinator should enter in the offensive formations and the plays. We recommend the defensive coordinator does this because it will give you a feel for the game and understand the pacing of the offense. When filling in the sheet, we recommend using the offensive terminology so your players can identify all the formations and the plays. If your offense is simple and you don't have complex verbiage, we recommend coming up with generic concept names for plays such as power right or counter left. And for passing concepts, shallow left, or if you're getting smash on both sides, it'd be smash mirror. We recommend using concepts when you're adding in your huddle information just because it will be so much easier. You don't need to put slant, out, dig, fly on every single play because when you aggregate all that data together, it's going to be a nightmare to try to break down. Also, we want to add, if you can fundraise for Huddle Assist, please do it. We highly recommend you do it. It will save you so much time, not having to data entry so much. You're only worried about plays and formations, not necessarily the other data that's going to take you so much time. Now, this is the part you might push back on, but we recommend you use the new Huddle. If you're someone who uses old Huddle, you might be kicking and screaming right now, but we recommend you use it. I think, in my opinion, it's just so much easier to use to find all the data that you need. You can simply access all of the down and distance data, the play data, the formation data with just a simple click. If you want us to make a video on how to use the new Huddle, let us know in the comments section below and I'll write it down into the list of videos to make. Now that you have all of your data in, what processes could you put in place? Here are a few examples of the processes that we use and have our coaches use as well. Our first big process is what we call the launch chart. We'll have one coach fill this part out. This chart gives a snapshot of the opponent's passing game. So first we'll look at the top left box here, which is the height and weight of the quarterback. This is important because it gives you an idea of how big the quarterback is that you're playing. So if he's 6'6", 230 pounds, I want my players to be prepared for it. Also, we need to know if he's a lefty or a righty. Next, we'll look at how long it takes for him to throw the football. Anything under 2 seconds, it might be tough to blitz them because the ball will be gone before you even get there. Anything 3 seconds and over is where you enter blitz and stunting territory. Next, we'll look at who the quarterback is targeting. The coach will fill in how often each player is being targeted. If there's a high discrepancy of how the ball is being distributed, then we need to put extra attention toward that player. This part on the right is our spray chart. The green lines show completed passes and the red lines show incompleted passes. This chart can easily be made inside of any Sheets document or even Microsoft Paint if you don't have the tools. The key is to put where the quarterback threw the football from so you know where he feels comfortable throwing. If the quarterback is throwing and completing 90% of his throws outside the pocket and to the right, then we should probably blitz that side and make the quarterback throw left-handed, literally. But as you can see, the more data that we have and the more data points that we have, the more we can better formulate our game plan. But this is one coach doing this piece of it. Now let's move on to what the next coach that we have will do. Now that we have one coach mapping out their pass game, let's switch over to the run game where another coach can get his hands dirty. This spray chart will allow you to see the complete picture of the offense's run game. Now, how do you best use this chart? We have some example data here to show you. Similar to how one coach filled out the launch chart, another coach will fill out the spray chart. We color code where the running back location is, and then where he approaches the line of scrimmage. You can see quickly on where the opposing offensive coordinator is trying to run the football, what play he's trying to run, and where he's trying to attack. This chart will tell the story of the opponent's run game. If you're looking for more processes like personnel charts, tendency templates, and more, we'll show you can get them at the end of this video. So now you can see how we're starting to bring together the game plan. Each coach has a role, then each coach must present their data at the coaches meeting, which we'll detail in a minute. But first, let's dive into the offense side of the ball. That way you can get a complete picture. Offensively, we recommend the offensive coordinator fills in the defensive front and the defensive coverage for the data entry portion of it. Again, this is bare minimum we recommend for any offensive coordinator. All right, now that you've entered all the fronts and coverages in, what's the best use of this data? We recommend you build out a complete map of their players. This way you know exactly who plays where and where their impact players are. This chart will help you identify every player, the number of times they blitz, and a complete overview of where your advantages and disadvantages are, as well as where the two-way players are. While your offensive coordinator is doing all of the data entry, we recommend another coach fills this chart out. Next, let's start to build out the actual run game. Because you already entered all the data for their fronts and coverages, you will have a snapshot of their favorite fronts. You want to start to map out your top 3 favorite runs against each front. Now, what's the best way to go about this? For example, if they give you a 4-2 box, what runs do you like schematically? But also, what players do you want to run away from or run to? As you build out your run game, this chart will help you identify what front they're running along with what plays you think will give you the best chance for an explosive play. Next, you'll want to do the same for the passing game and create templates for each chart, and then create templates and charts for each position. That way, each player knows exactly what to expect when they're going into the game. Remember, every coach should be pulling their weight, and one coach shouldn't be doing everything. And now that every coach has a responsibility done, it's time to present the data. What we recommend is every staff has 1-hour meetings, okay? 30 minutes for offense, 30 minutes for defense, and each coach presents their data and their recommendations, and that's key. Then the coordinators and the head coach will obviously finalize the game plan based on the data that's presented. This is how you get every coach involved with the game plan. So now everyone is on the same page and has skin in the game moving forward together. It's not just one coach doing everything. It's not just one coach being pressured to come up with this fantastic game plan that some of the coaches may not be on board with. We found this is the best way to get everybody involved and get everyone moving in the same direction. If you're looking for even more templates and step-by-step guides on how to game plan, then check out our game plan lab in the description below. Every coach should have a say in the game plan, and we found this is the best way to do so. So if you have questions, let us know in the comment section below. If not, be sure to check out that in the description below, and we'll see you next time.